Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Happy Monday. And you might notice that right off the bat this week that there is a bit of a lack of quote-unquote important events to run. That is because the fusion event for Khmer has basically ended. And we're in this kind of, I would say, lull period of the week where we guys, if you've been paying attention to some of the news, and I realized I didn't do a video over the weekend. I took a little bit of a break, but we do have the upcoming, I'm going to say collab, right? You might have heard that the Wizard of Oz is coming and that will be coming pretty soon. And I think that this week is just basically that gap between something new happening. But there are some stuff coming anyways, and especially that started today, including the special dragon tournament. I want to talk about this, including some of the best epic champions and more free-to-play available champions that you can use. I'm not going to here to tell you to just use, you go and use Marius and clear this tournament, right? But you're going to be using characters from the Galen faction, which is Ogren, Lizardmen, Skinwalkers, and Orcs. So I do want to run through those factions really quick, kind of point out some really important epics that you could be using to clear this event. We also do have a Gear Ascension tournament running still, and it's always a good time to kind of stock up on some soul stones, right? So there is some extra stuff in here that you might want to collect, which shouldn't be that hard. Dragon's one of the easiest bosses to clear. So honestly, it shouldn't be that difficult, but let's get into it. Before we do, I want to remind people that you can use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get the legendary King Galkabar absolutely free within the first 48 hours of a brand new account, and also Venomage, Tagore, and Farrakhan the Fat. Hey, some of these which are actually very useful for the dragon today. And don't forget about your pal, Pelops the Victor. All you got to do is use the promo code SUPERVICTORY within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, so let's talk about the rewards. There are going to be a Prism Soulstone up for grabs for characters from these factions. There's a few pretty decent ones out there depending on what you're looking for. There's a chance that you could get Marius in here, Crocat and Shayak. There is, I call her Big Titties. I've tried to pull her multiple times and failed. But if you do have Grugtha, she hits really, really hard. Sun Wukong, Ramantu, Pythion, and so on and so forth. And the 4 faction unity characters as well. I believe Vizig was up for grabs in the Prism Shards, if you happen to have got lucky there. There's also some good characters here. And actually, some of these we'll be talking about in the video. So let's just get started with some characters. I'm going to work my way backwards, actually. I'm going to be starting at Orcs. Now, I'm not going to be pointing out any legendaries unless they have been available free, as in like login characters and stuff like that. My Orcs legendaries are pretty sparse, and actually almost none of these that I would recommend using for Dragon. But anyways, from the Epics category, obviously if you need a support character to get you through Dragon, Tagore is your guy. He does have speed up. He puts up shields, and he can revive as well. Hopefully you're not doing so poorly that you need to revive, but he also does damage mitigation. If you're under 50% HP, he does. Everyone gets 10% less damage. Zargala, if you need a good epic orc nuker, she's your gal. Honestly, I use her quite a lot. She have her at +4 empowered. She's very powerful, actually. She hits and does defense down, and then if you happen to kill somebody with her A2, she she activates her A3 again. She's pretty powerful. Also, Duke the Pierced, another great epic from the Orcs faction if you happen to need this as well. If you have him at full critical hit rate, he does do decrease attack and defense. So 50% and 60%, of course, the top ones, which is great. And also he does provoke, which is great for wave content. Those are probably the best characters from the Orcs faction. Honestly, Seer is good, but just so hard for like early and mid game people to take advantage of because you need to build a team around her. So basically, she removes all buffs from your side and the enemy sides, and then does like a big AoE nuke. The problem is that you need to maximize how many buffs you have, and basically she needs to go last after you've already buffed your entire team. She wipes all those buffs and just does a big bomb nuke. It can hit really hard, but it's just a lot of setup that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So that's Orc factions. Working our way back to Skinwalkers. Again, not really any characters that you would have got for free necessarily. It depends on when you started the game. You might have Sun Wukong. He was one of my original promo codes back in the day. And if you have Marius, you're probably not watching or need help from my video anyways. As far as other epics in here, though, one that I specifically want to point out for Dragon is Balf the Rancid. Because if you are taking hits from Dragon, if you are taking hits from this poison, well, it does half as much damage, which is very helpful, not just for Dragon, but for Nether Spider, things like this. He can also increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1, decrease the accuracy of the boss as well. That could help you to resist things a little bit easier. Places an increased accuracy on your buff on your team, but it also removes 2 random debuffs from all allies. So if you wait and you do this basically after he's done his Dragon Breath, you can more or less clear it, and the damage will be very minimal. Also does a little bit healing as well. So very good character if you're just going to be taking those poison hits as well. Also a great character to just upgrade in general for a lot of different pieces of content. So I want to point out Balf the Rancid. Some other good characters for wave-based content. Basher, I actually have him quite a lot. Because of his A2, he is a cooldown lockout kind of champ. So using him for wave content, and he actually hits pretty hard, can be pretty nice as well. So if you need some AoE with also lockout to make sure that the waves are dealt with, he's your guy there. Another good AoEer here, and also Poisoner, is Akam Tomb. So he doesn't. It's a pretty simple character, but he puts out some Hex, does some AoE swiping that actually does some pretty good damage, and also he does Poison and debuff spread here, a 3-hit A1. So pretty powerful character there. Otherwise, I'll be honest, some of them are more single target based. Fane is good for the boss, not so good for the wave content, but she does do decreased defense, weaken, decreased attack, poison, lots of great debuffs. So if you need a boss attacker, there you go. The rest of them are kind of hit and miss. Nerux is okay. He does do a provoke AoE, or has a chance to, up to 75% provoke there, and he's got some ally protection for the team as well. As far as supports go, Gom, Yellowhand, also pretty nice. Puts out a leech and heal reduction on the boss, in this case Dragon, once you get there. Does an AoE stun actually here on his A3 that decreases turn meter, and also has increased speed. So making sure that you have at least one character on your team with increased speed, I think, is pretty important. Now moving on to Lizardman. There's a couple of here in the epics category. In the legendary category, not sure you'd have anything for free. I mean, Predator's not free. If you bought Predator, then there you go. Some wave-based DPS nukers. Slixus Stripehide, really, really good. So again, combined with Zargala for some AoE wave nuker to get you through that kind of part of the content if you need to. Slixus Stripehide is quite good. Also Void, so he's not going to get weak-hitted at all. And does do some pretty solid single target damage here as well. Some other characters that I want to point out is, of course, going to be Venomage, who was on my promo link. Flesh Melter, his their A3, does heal reduction and poison, but that's nice there, the heal reduction, actually, because it makes sure that they do 15% less damage, and also we have a one-hit single target decrease defense and decrease attack, and also Venomage can blow up poisons as well. To be honest, the Lizardman Epics category it's pretty sparse. It's not the best one out there. Aox is okay, actually. So if you need it, increase the duration of 2 random debuffs on the attacker. Does do an attack down and also decrease crit rate, which is rare, I suppose. I don't see that very often. And then also some healing if you need it as well. Aox, to remember, also does some poisons. Not a very high chance to land, but there you go. And then finally, I want to talk Ogre Tribes. There's a few standouts. And as far as, I don't know, yeah, Ogren didn't really have any recent fusions or good free characters. Ugo, though, if you have Ugo, one of the best epic support characters from the Ogren tribes, places decreased defense, block buffs, healing, can also remove debuffs. Only one, though, not as good as Balf, but if you combine the two of them, actually, it's really powerful. Also does leech on A1. Ugo's a really good support character. Some general wave DPS nukers, if you have it, though. Lorne, surprisingly good. I do have a 6 red soul Lorne, but he does hit pretty hard. His A3, unfortunately, isn't going to do anything on Dragon because it actually just completely deletes turn meter, but you can't do that on Dragon. But we do have some pretty solid AoE damage with his A2. Maneater might be something that you might invest in as well because it places unkillable, and also block debuffs for 2 turns on a cooldown of 5 with books, but still nonetheless for the first turn of the boss on Dragon, this can be very useful as well. The rest of the stuff doesn't really work other than the A1 in the decreased attack if the attack is critical. As far as some other characters go, for this specific fight, that's most of it. You could use Skull Crusher, actually. So Skull Crusher is really popular, or was really popular with Demon Lord. Does do ally protection, but also does counterattack AoE on all allies. So if you place this up before the dragon does his poison attack, then everyone's going to counter back. So it does do some pretty good damage there as well, and unkillable on himself. So those are some good support characters that I would probably personally recommend here. I think it's worth doing this event because you never know. I say this, I know that the Prism Soulstones are not as good as the Prism Shards, but the good thing is that you're not going to have to spend as much energy for this. Also, this is a regular, it's not a turn attack, it's a regular tournament, so you just need to farm some gear out of that, which depending on how far you're able to go. For me, I'm going to be farming stage 6 Void. That's just because I'm using these 3 champions here. I'm going to try to do it with some food and kind of double dip a little bit here. Now, some of you guys can just do normal stage 20. That would be the most efficient. Otherwise, I'm not going for energy efficiency necessarily, but it would be stage 20 of normal mode. Otherwise, that would be, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is 13, because that's where you get the jump from 4 to 5 star to 4 to 6 star. So if you're only able to do that, that would be okay as well. But I would still run it because you never know when you're going to get a really good pull. And I know it sounds like it's a lottery ticket, but at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot going on this week anyways. And we're basically, I think at this stage, we're probably waiting until early next week before something big happens. That's just my thoughts anyways. You could do, and I should have said this right at the beginning, if you want to double dip for the event with clan versus clan, this is going on tomorrow as well. I should have probably said this at the beginning rather than now, but there is not any bonuses for Dragon, but nonetheless, you'll still double dip some CVC points. It's not personal CVC, so it's not as important, right? So as that, but nonetheless, if you want to double dip with that, then you can do that then tomorrow as well. So anyways, that's it for me, guys, for today. We're going to have some more exciting videos as the week goes on. Don't forget to use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get King Galkabar absolutely free, and also Venomage, Tagore, and Farrakhan the Fat at accounts level 10, 20, and 30. Don't forget about your pal Pelops the Victor from the Argonites faction, and all you got to do is use the promo code SUPERVICTORY within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.